any problem, we say has two components. One, what is the end objective? And two, what constrains the objective? The objective tells you where to end the model. The constraint tells you where to start the model. If I have to factor these constraints for a business, for any business, I would put the constraints into three categories. First one, demand side. Second, supply side. Third one is regulatory or control side. And in each of these cases, this constraint can come from internal factors. These constraints can come from external factors. So from a demand side, how can there be an internal constraint? The internal constraint could be about your execution. The more I work hard, the more I can sell, right? Can I come up with a better product? Can my sales team do a better execution? That will affect my, let's say, sales, right? That we say is demand side constraint, internal demand side constraint. The other extreme could be demand side, but it's not internal issue, it's external issue. I can grow if the external market allows me to grow. What could be a scenario? Let's say I am a pharmaceutical company and I'm coming up with a drug to treat pancreatic cancer. Now, how much can my sales be? My sales can only be to the extent that there are pancreatic cases reported in the world, right? It cannot go beyond that. There's an external market limitations. It's not like, I do a great sales effort. Can I improve my sales? Only to the extent that you have cancer patients and pancreatic cancer patients, because that's the drug you come up with, right? Supply side, where can the constraint be? Supply side constraint again can be internal. Internal is got to do with your production capacity. We were talking about Maruti, right? I have a production capacity and I'm already selling to a great extent. So where does that constraint come from? Constraint comes from my production capacity, which is internal, right? If I can increase the capacity, to increase the capacity, what I need capital. So supply side constraints internally comes from your machineries and capital. In supply side, you can also have external constraints. How can external constraints come from? This comes from material and labor issues. Think of it, I'm into thermal power, right? I'm a thermal power corporation. Now, if my sales has to improve, right, sales has to happen, what I need sufficient supply of coal. Let's say tomorrow court imposes ban on coal mining, right? Now, so no domestic coal is available. The only coal I can get is through import. So I cannot get as much coal as I need. I have enough production capacity. There's enough demand. People will, if I make energy, if I can create electricity, if I generate electricity and sell, there is enough demand. People will buy this electricity. Do I have plant capacity to generate? I have. But what is my constraint? Coal supply, right? I am not getting the coal supply. This could be a constraint, right? Labor could be a constraint. Sometimes, I have a problem in my plant. Labor strike is going on, right? That's an issue for me. That can happen. And then you can have control issues. Control issues being, sometimes if I'm a captive organization, I'm an SPV, and my parent company tells me what to do, what not to do. I know I am probably a company in India, which is owned by a company in US. I can extend my sales, I can reach to a lot of things, but my parent company says, this is it. You're not allowed to do anything beyond this. They impose the constraint, right? Let's say I'm a shared services provider. I'm a BPOs in India working for, let's say, a US company. Now, as such, I can provide service to across the world to any company, but parent company says, no, stick to our company. You're not supposed to provide service to anybody else, right? So that is an internal constraint, internal control by my parent company. Or one more issue can happen is regulations. Regulator may say, this is it. You're not supposed to do beyond this. I'm giving you a regulatory constraint on how much you can do. You're not supposed to do beyond this. Right? These all can be our constraints. Why are these constraints important for us to understand? What is the role of these constraints? As I told you, these constraints determine how we build our models. Right? If your constraint is internal execution, then where would you start? My sales, demand side is the problem. Internal execution is my problem. Then where do I start in terms of my financial model? We are going to say start with sales, right? And how do I model my sales? Sales is going to be last year into 1+ growth, right? How well I work compared to last year. If I do better than last year, my sales will increase. If I do worse than last year, my sales will decrease.